Okay, any more questions on the model?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you mentioned earlier the criteria, does she fancy me? But after the stack, you mentioned how you go back. So it's not necessarily in logical order. You just, or is it?
Okay, I would say it is in this logical order, but it's better to consider these as types of energy rather than stages. So you have vibing energy, which is like fucking with her, flirting with her, teasing, challenge, and things like that. You have investment energy, which is being real, getting to know each other properly. Then you have spiking energy, which is little hits and runs. So what will happen, if you imagine this was a graph of energy, right, of like high energy in time, what you'd have is you're starting off relatively high energy, a lot of vibing. The vibing starts to come down like this as the investment starts to get bigger. So you'll notice a lot of sets, so you'll see with Richard's sets particularly, he's always mixing these energy up. He'll go through a bit of investment, then he'll suddenly get all playful and flirty, then you'll get investment, then all playful and flirty, and on top of that there'll be the odd spike. Right, so I think it's better to conceive of it as like a mix of energies where at times it's like this much vibe, this much invest, at other times it's this much vibing, this much invest. And then on top of that, you're throwing in these little pattern interrupts to suddenly move from one to the other in a second and back again. So I think it's a bit of a more complex way to think about it, but I think whereas these are discrete stages, right, you have to do the close at the end. I mean, realistically, you can fuck around a bit after the close, but you can't really close here. Obviously, the open has to be first, right? But these, yeah, you're mixing them up really. Okay, any more questions? Right, okay.
Like how long it usually takes for women to make a first impression on you, and will that probably reduce the amount of likes that we'll get later on?
So how long does it take for women to make an impression on me?
Like 10 hours.
It depends on the context. It depends on the context, right? So I know within a microsecond if I want to fuck her, generally speaking, right? If I say her from the front, right? Within about 20 seconds, I normally know if I want to continue the set. Right, if it's worth it, if she's got some interest in me, or if I just don't like her, or if she doesn't look as good up close as she seemed, I know within 20 seconds if I want to basically finish out the set. And if I've got to the point where I'm taking the number, it's very rare that I'll take a number from a girl I decide I don't want to see again. Normally she's flaking on me, not the other way around, because I know exactly what I want, and I know very quickly that I want it. And girls don't really change their value over time, over like 10 minutes, right? Because they're still as hot as they were at the beginning. It's not like men where behavior can make you very unattractive just like that. And on a date, I very rarely walk out of dates. I think I walk out of dates maybe twice a year if a girl's just pissing me off and I just walk out. But it's very rare. Because a lot of it is just when you're very clear what you want and very used to trying to get it, you become very quick at realizing if it is what you want. And so you tend not to make mistakes on your side. It normally just becomes a case of I know I want her, now I've got to try and make sure I get her, and the no's are going to come from her side. Okay, anything else?
So optimum length of a set would be about 5-6 minutes then?
I'd say so, yeah. Now we're getting a little bit into the instant date or not instant date sort of territory, and I'd say the thing here is you want the set to be long enough that you tick all the check boxes you need, right? I'd never think about dates as sets about you need to get X amount of time, then you get out of the set. I'd think it more like you want to tick off all the relevant check boxes, and as soon as you've ticked those off, you're looking for a smooth way to get out. So if you tick them off in 2 minutes, and she's on a rush to a train, you've ticked it off, you take the number, but it might take you 10 minutes to tick them off. On very rare occasions, it might take you 15 to 20 minutes to take them off. But when you tick them off, you get out. Because what you don't want to be doing is treading water. Because the subtext of male-female interaction is the man leads, the woman follows, and the man has a purposeful direction. Right? Because women spend their whole life just chasing their tails. A man takes them by the nose and leads them. And if they like the man, they'll allow themselves to be led. So for the street set to work well, you have to reproduce that meta-level relationship. So if you get everything you need in 5 minutes and then spend another 10 minutes talking to her, you're treading water, you're showing a lack of direction, and it's like letting all the air out of the balloon. So it's better to get out soon. But if you're making progress the whole way through and it's just slow progress, then you can stay longer. And I think if the set's going over 10 minutes, you really ought to be either dating or gone. It's one or the other, right? And there's specific check boxes for whether or not you should date, but we can go into that in a different slide. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, let's take one more question on this slide.